Hi everyone, it's me, Kayla Sparkle, once again on live. So I hope you guys well, let's just say I know you guys will probably feel excited to get to see me on live. So I appreciate that, and I bet you guys will probably might have any questions to ask me or anything. It's clearly up to you. If you do have any questions, just let me know in the box in you know just take your time. i'll I'll just be patient with you guys. Okay, so so let's talk about things you might like to talk about. Maybe we could talk about Disney. Maybe. Okay, let's talk about Disney. Well, Disney is definitely one of the biggest things that most of the people seem to like in these days, to be honest with you guys, especially since the in the 20s, I believed, because that's when they started making the whole Disney company and that. Yeah, I just thought to like I could mention that I have always have interesting with Disney most of the time because so some of you guys may heard that I got my own cartoons and they are called the Singer Dance Girls. They're not really officially a cartoon quite yet, as in like a media or something, but it will one day in the future. I just hope though, because I've always wanted to be an animator, as in like drawing the characters, the backgrounds, and I also like to make a story for each of the episodes, and especially for the movies, of course, or maybe shorts, such as um, like focus on the characters and stuff like that. And so basically, I just thought the idea for my Single Dolls Girls to be part as the Disney company. Yeah, okay. So I got some few questions here. So question one by Super Wide the Coolest Green Dude about my opinion on the user. I think you're cool. And your second question, what's my thoughts on the My Little Pony Equestria Girls? Well, I'm actually kind of like both My Little Pony and Equestria Girls as equal, to be honest. I don't really have a favorite between them. I just kind of like them both as equal, no matter what. Because let's just say there are some few people who seem just like just My Little Pony or just Equestria Girls, but mostly with My Little Pony because it's the original, you know. And the Equestria Girls is just like a spin off to My Little Pony. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just hang on a minute, got an itch. Oh, sorry, got can't get these itches around here. Okay. And Nelson Leonel asking me how am I doing today. I'm actually quite good today because I have been in a fun center today with my best friend Sophie. Well, Sophie Pan that you some of you guys know on YouTube. Yeah. And thanks for the compliment about my headphones. um, hmm, I don't know what to say. Um, hmm. And for my single dance girls, I started my own cartoon since 2014 at the age of 13. Yeah, that's it. And and haven't been doing that since then because it was like somewhere in the middle of the month. I can't exactly remember now because it's been a long time. Yeah. So yeah, I just it's been a long time now since I done my own cartoon, and until like in 2016, that's when I started doing my single dose girls again. because, like I said, I always wanted to make my own company for my own art. And I had to admit, I I've always loved to be an animator anyway, because I have this heart for art. That makes a rhyme, doesn't it? Heart to art, or I mean, heart for art. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, but okay. So some of you may have heard that I have a crush on this guy that I used to like. Well, still like, from the show that I still watch nowadays, and it's called EastEnders. Some of you may not have heard of it, but it's actually a show from the UK, where I'm actually from. And his name is Elliot Carrington, and he used to play Bobby Beale back in 2014 until 2016. But he did came back the 1 year later, but only for like a short, like a brief appearance, something like that. And then he never came back. So I kind of miss him sometimes. But I'm actually over him from time to time. But it depends on the mood, because, like I said, I'm not always into boys that much, but I do like some few boys. It depends on the person. I mean, like in real life, something like that. Um, just hang on a minute. Okay. Hmm. And yeah. So some of you might heard of my best friend called Sophie Pan. Well, if I had to remind myself, I just named her Sophie Pan as a nickname, because I just thought it's a lovely name, because I know she's a biggest fan of Peter Pan. So why not give her a nickname? Like, I have a nickname with the name Caitlin Sparkle. It's by my favorite character from My Little Pony, called Twilight Sparkle. Yeah, I just like Twilight Sparkle for a reason. But if I had to admit, Twilight Sparkle always inspired me so much ever since then. Ever since I started watching My Little Pony. Well, if I got that correctly, I kind of watched the Rainbow Walks from the Crusty Girls sometimes way before I actually watched the season 4 of My Little Pony. Well, if I remember, season 4 was airing at the time, since when I saw My Little Pony in 2014. and so although I had to be honest, I literally just started by watching season 1 before I could actually go ahead on watching the newer episodes, you know what I mean? Because I don't wanted to watch the newer episodes before I actually started watching the actual very first episode of My Little Pony. Yeah. And do you, some of you guys don't know if you heard that My Little Pony is no longer on Hasbro? I know, it's really sad, isn't it? I mean, when I first found out about it since 2019, I was really sad to hear about it. I mean, I was quite disappointed. And I don't blame you guys who are also disappointing, because I had to kind of agree with most of you guys anyway, because the G4 of My Little Pony are the best. Although there are some few other people who seems to like the G1 of My Little Pony as well, like my friend Wizard Dude that I know from YouTube. He likes My Little Pony. Well, he did say that he does like the G4 and the G1 as equal, something like that. I actually kind of agree with him, because I actually kind of like the G1 from time to time. It depends, really. But I'm more into G4, if I had to be honest. Well, is it obvious? Twilight Sparkle. But she's not the only reason why I like My Little Pony. My Little Pony inspire me so much, because they teach all of us fans all different kinds of things, like friendship. And I know there are haters who doesn't understand My Little Pony, and I don't understand why, but I will respect their opinions and all that. But I just hate the idea of people criticizing on the people who they seem to call them as bronies. I don't quite understand why the hate about having men to have interest with My Little Pony. I mean, what's the big deal? Everyone can like My Little Pony whatever they want. I mean, I would, if I had to be honest, I had to be, well, like I said, I just think My Little Pony is for everyone who likes My Little Pony, you know? Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. So, and anyway, like I said, it is kind of sad to know that My Little Pony is no longer. But although there is a G5 of My Little Pony, I know some of you may don't have any interest in the G5, including myself. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I just thought to say that. Sorry, I'm trying to think. Well, after when the G4 of My Little Pony ended, and that's when I found out, well, the G5 was announced, and that I was like a little excited to see what it's about, you know, just to see what it's like, what it's about. I mean, get used to the change and that. Although, if I had to be honest with you guys, I'm not always used to getting with the changes from time to time. Let's just say that's just part of my personality. You can't seem to understand the change, something like that. Yeah. Hello, Wizard Dude. As I can see your comments. And yeah, I just really glad to know that they got the new generation of My Little Pony. Yeah. Okay. So after My Little Pony, I started watching another show that some of you may heard before, or some of you may don't, and it's called Miraculous Ladybug, or either you guys call it Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. But if I had to get myself to remind myself that in my country we say the word ladybird, but I don't understand the difference, sometimes. But although it's still the same thing, it's just that I just don't know what's the difference, ladybug, ladybird. Oh well, I do got my own miraculous ladybug bow, which you probably have seen me wearing it on my first live video behind my headphones. Yeah, well, I just say I'm a huge fan of my miraculous ladybug. Silly me. And I do got my own miraculous ladybug house on the floor down there, but I will show you guys that some other time when I feel ready or something. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I also like Alvin the Chipmunks. Yeah, like you guys do. And I know that there are most people who doesn't seem to like Alvin the Chipmunks because of the high pitched voice and that, but I don't understand why. But I do respect their opinions and that, but sometimes I just don't know what's the big deal about having a high pitched character like Snow White, for example, from the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I mean, it depends on the character. I mean, I don't know. Or Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls, because even though she was voiced by Tara Strong back in the 90s, but I can't possibly blame those people who doesn't like high pitch, but that's just ridiculous sometimes for not liking high pitch sometimes, But like I said, I will respect that. And yeah. So like I said, I do like Alvin the Chipmunks, but I also like the Gepettes because the Gepettes are awesome. Although I do like the Chipmunks as well. But some of you already know that I'm more like a feminine person, which I kindly prefer girls sometimes. But I still like boys, really. So don't worry, I do like boys, but I'm kind of more into girls. Yeah. And basically, I do like the triplets as equal, like, Brittany, Jeanette, and Eleanor. But if I had to say, because as a kid, ever since the sequel first came out back in 2009, I did used to say like this to my own dad by saying, Brittany in the pink one is my new favorite character. But she still is. And same thing for Jeanette because they're both my favorite. But if I have to be honest, I kind of prefer Eleanor some time to time because I believe she doesn't have any much fully attention like the way Brittany and Jeanette does. Well, there are also a few fans who does seems to like Eleanor and gives her a bit of attention like I do. Yeah, I know this can be a few people who doesn't seem to like Eleanor. Well, I respect that. So yeah, but I do like Eleanor respectively. But like I said, I do like them all respectively because, well, they are the Chipettes after all. Yeah. So I got one question by from my friend with a dude, and he asked me a question that he just met one of the characters from my own Sing Adult Skills website, and he said the character I've named called Britney Spears. Well, Bethany Spears, sorry. And I would love to know more about her. What is she like? Well, let's just say Bethany for my own Sing Adult Skills. I would say, if I had to admit, a couple of few days ago when I was drawing her, my sister kind of said to me that she reminding her of the celebrity with the name Britney Spears. You know Britney Spears, right? Well, let's just say my sister gave me an idea by that my own character Bethany can be inspired by Britney Spears, so I thought give her a name Bethany rather than Britney. You know what I mean? And Bethany Spears will have a nickname and will be called um, Bratty Spears because she can be a bit of a brat sometimes. It depends on the character development from the Sing Adult Skills show in the future. Yeah, something like that. Um, although she can be nice sometimes, and sometimes she can be a bit of a brat because she can be a bit of a stuck up, like Moody Margaret from Horror Henry. Ugh, jeez, tell me about it. Um, hmm, let's say, mm, 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 mm. Okay. Oh, okay. Just got a question by Jill Robinson. Sorry if I got your name wrong. Um, what's your favorite Smurfs episode from the 80s? Well, let's just say that I don't normally have a favorite episode from the original 80s series, but if I do have a favorite, I would say the episode with the name called The Smurfette. When we get to know the story about what Smurfette was really like before she came to the Smurf village and that. Something like that, yeah. Although I am a huge fan of Smurfette anyway, because she was the first female Smurf before another character called Seth, who was also created by Gargamel. She only appeared in the 80 series, and I had to admit I do kind of like Smurfette in every generation, like the 80s, the live action, the CGI, and the other one with the Lost Village that most people remembers, and yeah. Uh, although I do kind of prefer the Lost Village version from time to time. Yeah, something like that. um. Hmm. Hmm. I do like Bubbles for the Powerpuff Girls. She could sometimes remind me with Smithette from time to time, because kind of obvious because the colors blue. Well, not just because of that, because they do like almost have similar appearance sometimes. I think maybe, well, in my personal opinion or thoughts, something like that. And um, so in my first live video, I did mention that I started being on YouTube since like 2016. Yeah, that's it. Although I have been on YouTube way before then, actually. I mean, just go on it, play videos and all that before I actually made a channel in 2016. Yeah. And I don't know if some of you might remember my old channel with the name Queen Caitlin Sparkle. If you have not, that's fine. You can always just look it up on YouTube whenever you need to. And trying to think something. Well, let's say that I do like The Little Mermaid. Yeah, I kind of like The Little Mermaid because Ariel is definitely my favorite Disney princess. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry. Let's just say I've always been a fan of The Little Mermaid ever since as a kid. Because I did used to have a VHS of The Little Mermaid as a kid. Yeah, something like that. And I actually missed the VHS anyway, because I did used to have all the VHS until like after all these years, my mom kind of threw them away because we don't use the cassette very much ever since the DVDs came along and that, and something like that. But I do like both VHS and DVDs from time to time as equal. Okay, so I got one question by Valentin Sparkle, the Holden B12 production, and they asked me, what is your favorite city on Great Britain? I don't know, really. Although I am from Britain, but I don't really have a favorite. I do kind of like everything in the UK, though, to be honest. But I've always wanted to visit London sometimes because my mom did say to me once that we might go there sometime in the future as a holiday or something. And I can't wait to go. So, and I do well, let's just say I do have some few interests about London because let's just say I've always liked to see the kingdom, with Queen Elizabeth II used to live before she passed away, which actually is sad news. But there is a good news though that her first son, Prince Charles, I think his name, and he is going to be our new king sometime very soon this year. I just hope though, because I think he'll be a great king. Because let's just say we can say that he can sort of like tribute for our late queen. Yeah. Okay, I got another question from my good friend who's a dude, and he asked me, what would you say your favorite Kingdom Hearts character is? Oh, I'm sorry to break this up. I'm not really much a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts, but if I have a favorite character from it, I would say Sora because I think he's a great character. But my best friend Sophie does like Kingdom Hearts than I do. So let's just say she plays them a lot, all the time. So yeah, let's just say that Sophie does like video games most of the time, and I just more like into YouTube, music, girly stuff. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Um. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I also watch some other stuff that, well, some of the shows that I watch that based from my country, like Doctor Who, um, Tracy Beaker, Casualty, and some other things some like some all the other TV shows that I mostly remember from the um, channel called Superbees. Most of you guys from the UK remember Superbees, right? Because I do. Because Superbees is just one of the great things about the UK, Because who who wouldn't have the world without Superbees? Anyway, well, I mean, I've always liked CBBS anyway, because CBB is just one of the best things I like in my life. And it's always been the best thing for my childhood too. Because there are some most good things about CBBS, but I believe I have to break this up to you guys who also from the UK that I got sad news that CBBS is definitely going to get cancelled. And I'm sorry for breaking that up because I know it's sad and disappointing, but I it's just I'm not really good explaining because I have this sort of condition. So I just thought I'd tell you guys this because I know this is really disappointing. Oh, and same thing for CBBC. I mean, what? Come on, really? What's going on? I mean, what is wrong with these people nowadays? Oh, holy Disney. Okay. Okay. Let's just say um I will always love CVBs and CVBC, but mostly CVBs because CVB is the one that I usually grew up watching as a kid while growing up, and now, yeah, tragic really. And hmm, okay. I had to go very soon before my mum and my sister comes home for tea. So let's just say, oh, trying to think. Sorry. um, oh yeah. Do you want to know how me and my best friend Sophie know each other? Well, let's just say me and Sophie know each other since from primary. Let's just say we were kids at the time, and I was like a new student at the time visiting the primary, and Sophie was already a student there. And well, I if I remember correctly, I met another girl with named Jenny, and she was really nice as well, until I actually met Sophie for the first time. And she was like minding her own, playing alone, playing those like foods and teacups and all that, not like real food, of course, but like pretend ones. And I was like interested on seeing what she's up to, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm a visitor here." And she said her name was Sophie, and and let's just say me and Sophie have a few comments since then, and then me and Sophie have been friends since then. Because if I remember correctly, when I first started my first day in that primary, me and Sophie actually enjoy together now. Yeah, it is lovely to know, like, telling a story about two best friends. And yeah, and I remember that day when Sophie and Jenny both left the primary school at the same time, and I was really sad because I really adored Sophie that much because she's the only friend I could have, you know? Well, I don't want to put any too sappy stuff in here because I don't want you guys to get upset, and I don't want to get upset myself either. And let's just say that me and Sophie have been like sisters to one another as well, while being best friends. Yeah. So, and then I remember back in 2012, I think it was, because I remember that very day when my mum came home from work and she said that she saw my best friend's Sophie's mum and driving by in a car or something, and then she told me about it. That she told me that she knows the school that Sophie was in now. Well, back in that year, I mean. And then I was like, "What? Really? Oh my god!" And I was really happy to know that because Sophie is the only friend I could possibly have because there's no one else I could possibly talk to. Well, except that I do have some other people that I am friends with from the same school that I end up seeing Sophie again, like Oliver, Sam, Chantel, Daniel. Well, I know Daniel from another primary school before I actually meet him again in that school, which I just mentioned the other people's names from that school. And let's just say I also friends with the other boys from the same primary school that I know Daniel from, and they are like Elliot, Liam, something like that. And there are some other few boys that I can possibly consider as friends from the same school where I meet Sophie again. Like Tom, and the other Tom, and well, the Tom that I just mentioned just then was the Tom that he's the one who was also on YouTube who does good stuff. Yeah, he's the Tom I just mentioned, and let's just say I also know other boys like Patrick. Oh, there are also a few more, but I barely remember their names now. Okay, so all I'm saying that there are some few girls too, like Hannah. Well, the Hannah that some of you already know from my Single Dog Skills is actually based on the real person, and I actually can easily consider her as my other best friend, and I haven't been missing her. Like I mean, I do miss her, like still, because she's the other only friend I could possibly be friends with from the school that I mentioned the boys' names from. Okay, I got a question from Notting Malex. Sorry, and asking me, am I a cartoonist? I don't know if you mean cartoonist. Yeah, I think I can consider as a cartoonist from time to time because I do draw a lot. Yeah, I do draw most of the time. Yeah. Hello, Kale Dudette. Okay, so let's just say that I do love drawing. Well, basically, I did mention earlier on that I do have heart for art because let's just say I've been drawing since at the age of maybe between 4, 5, or 6, maybe. Don't know. So there's a user called Heather, and asking me what's my favorite character. Well, I already mentioned it already sometimes before in this video, and I did mention Twilight Sparkle. But I do have some other favorite characters like Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Speedy Belle. Well, the other two like Apple Bloom and Scootaloo, that most of us know them as the Crusaders. In fact, they do easily remind me with the Powerpuff Girls sometimes. Because let's just say, I don't know, maybe by their personalities, I mean, sorry, Apple Bloom, she almost nearly looks like Blossom anyway. You can tell by the bow, something like that. So, oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that I do like Lilo and Stitch because they're the best things that I ever like about Disney as well. And although I do like both Lilo and Stitch as a character as well. And I also like Angel because, well, she's like a female love interest for Stitch. Yeah, something like that. Um. Okay. Um. Trying to think. Okay. Let's say. Oh. God blimey. Oh. Okay. Well, I do got some cool friends on YouTube as well, like Wizard Dude. He's been a good friend since 2020, I think. I think that was when I first met him. And I also a good friend with John Paben. He's a nice guy too. And I also like another user with the name Jelly Lily. Yeah, I do kind of like her as well. She's a cool user as well because she creates good content where she does like all sorts like Noddy, um, uh, Gabby's club thingy. I know the names. It's just my head can't think it. You know. Well, there are also a few things that Jelly Lady does, and she does has a friend called Princess Rosa, and I do like her as well. She's a good user as well on YouTube, and yeah. Okay, so okay, so if I had to be honest, there are some few haters who seem to be on YouTube who's been like Emma, because let's just say I don't want it to upset anyone or anything, but Emma can sometimes be horrible sometimes because she doesn't seem to think anything nice to talk about, you know. All she ever does is like to cause arguments and all that. Like she wants to cause drama, you know. But I can't possibly blame her. But sometimes she just has to keep it to herself if she wants to want to have a fight with someone, you know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, I do got most nice fans anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Twitter dude. I can always count on you to protect me if you want to protect me. But I can protect myself. But I'll let you protect me as well sometimes. If I need you to, though. And yeah. Okay. And I know you guys may seem that there's been some people being horrible to me before, sometimes a few weeks ago, but it's over now. But nothing or anything, you know, just personal. But it's over now. But I deleted everything what I just said because I don't want you guys to think whatever you guys think. So anyway, so oh yeah, you probably might see my cartoon version of myself. So this is actually my mouse mat for the Alpha Mouse because I kind of prefer these type of mouse rather than the mouse from the laptop that I'm using right now. Because let's just say because if some of you might remember the old fashioned laptops, like the laptop and has a keyboard attached to it and a thingy box right next to it, either that side or that side, whatever. I kind of miss these type of computers actually because let's just say I did used to play PC games on them a long time ago as a kid, and some of you might remember on my community post that I used to play the Little Mermaid 2 game, and I actually kind of missed that game, but I still have it somewhere, but I lost the discs But don't worry, I will find it. It's been a while since I played it, But I do have some other games like Tarzan, and I also had Disney Princess Fashion Boutique. Yeah. Oh, and Madagascar. I remember that game. And I also got Tracy Beaker, but I don't normally play that game because that game actually belongs to my big sister. He used to play that game a lot as a kid. Oh, and I do play Nintendo as well, like you guys do. Let's just say, although I'm not really much a video game fan, but I do like some few games that I did used to play as a kid, like Disney Princess Magical Jewels, I think it's called. Yeah, I also play other games like Disney Friends because you can become friends with Simba from The Lion King, Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, Dory from Finding Nemo, and Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. Well, let's just say some people just call him Pooh. Like, really? I should just rather call him Winnie the Pooh would be better. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. And I also do play some few Mario games like kart racing game. I think it's called Mario Kart. That's it, Mario Kart. And I got a Nintendo version of it, and a Nintendo Wii version, and a Nintendo Switch. Yeah, something like that. Well, let's just say, and I got my Nintendo Switch on last Christmas, because I did kind of beg my mom if I can have a Nintendo Switch because most people seem to have it nowadays. So she finally let me have one. Yeah, which is good. Yeah. Okay. So I do sometimes ask myself my own questions from time to time, like ask like even though when you want to ask someone your question, but sometimes if you want to ask a question to yourself sometimes because I do that from time to time. It depends really, but like, what is your favorite fast food? I like McDonald's, KFC, Chippy, Curry. Well, it's basically, if I remember correctly, I never used to like curry as a kid, but I like it now because I like chicken tikka. I just love the taste. It's not too spicy or anything, but it does taste nice. Um, trying to think. Um, well, I do like Burger King sometimes, but not much a fan of it. It's really, but I kind of more into McDonald's and KFC most of the time. So, uh, okay, um, itchy. Okay. Oh, there's loads to talk about here. Oh, I don't know if you guys might heard of Harry Potter. Yeah, Harry Potter is also one of the best things in my life because although I don't really watch the other movies besides the first film, the Philosopher's Stone, and the second film, um, The Chamber of Secrets. Well, actually, if I had to mention this, I'm actually reading a book version of Chamber of Secrets actually, and it's actually quite good as the film. But I'm somewhere between the middle to the end because I'm actually up to the bit when the Polyjuice after when Harry and Ron and Hermione decide to disguise themselves because they think Malfoy could be behind it. Well, correctly, if some of you haven't seen the film or the book or anything, sorry, it's okay because although it will be spoiled, but to some who has seen the book and the film itself, It's actually Ginny. So she's the one who did it the whole time. Well, I can't possibly blame her, but blame Tom Riddle. Or he who was not to be named. I mean, some of you might be scared of saying his actual name in Harry Potter, but I can't possibly blame you guys but don't worry, he's not a real person. He's just a character. Fictional character. Let's just say Voldemort. Well, I'm not scared of him. Well, he may think I am scared, but for me, I'm not scared of anything like him, for exact. Although I am scared of spiders. Ugh, creepy. Especially Aragog the spider. Although I do have heart for spiders sometimes. But sometimes I keep getting this feeling like I don't like them at all. But I do sometimes feel like sorry for them when they have to die and that. Well, you can't possibly blame me for it. It's just my personal facts, I think. Well, thought. Something like that. Because if I remember correctly, in this episode from Doctor Who, with Jodie playing the Doctor at the time, and it's from the episode with the spiders, and I remember the scene with the mom spider, and she was very ill, and the Doctor can tell that she is dying, and then all of a sudden, the villain, the man who owns the hotel, kind of. Blech. I don't want to say it because I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, you shouldn't have mentioned that, stuff like that. So, all I'm saying that I kind of feel sorry because I wish he never had done that because he's such an evil crook for doing that. Although, even though I did say I don't like spiders, but like I said, I do have half of them sometimes. It depends, really. Although I do sometimes say, oh, I hate them. So creepy. But sometimes I just have to have half of them, Like some people who may be scared of snakes, slugs, wasps, snails. Well, there are some few insects that I do personally like butterflies, ladybirds. Actually, speaking of ladybirds, I always keep getting ladybirds touching on my hands sometimes because I don't know why they always like to touch my hand anyway. Because every time I keep seeing them on my hand, it's like they're so attached to me or something. I don't know. Maybe they just adore me or something. Well, if I remember correctly, I think I do remember from that very day when me and Sophie used to go out with our PA, and we were in a bank or something, and suddenly there was a ladybird on the seat, and I was nearly about to get off the seat, but then Toby would keep still like that, and I was like, what is it? Oh, it's a ladybird. Oh boy. Well, you can't possibly blame me for liking ladybirds, but I just adore them. They're just so special somehow. Like, you know? Oh, and also, I do like Barbie because Barbie's just one of those best things in my life, too. And also, she inspired me sometimes as well. Because, let's just say she inspired me to be a feminine person. Something like that. Because, although I don't really do much of girly stuff from time to time, like makeups or whatsoever. But I do wear them sometimes if I wanted to. But if I had to admit, if you guys remember on my video about be yourself, I did said about beauty can count, but sometimes it doesn't matter really because you're still beautiful the way you are. No matter what people say to you or no matter what you say to yourself or about yourself, you're still beautiful the way you are. Just don't think anything bad about yourself or anything like that. And don't let anyone criticizing on your appearance because I know it's not really nice to think something like that. I mean, if you think about it, if you really want to show them who's boss, like do some like beauty pageant, because although I don't do something like that, but I just thought I'd give you a best advice, like try to do a bit of a beauty pageant, something like that, because I think that's the best thing to do, really. Because I remember this peculiar episode. Well, there's one episode and another episode based on the same episode from the 80s, and some of you may going to guess what I'm talking about here. Alvin the Chipmunks episode, My First Japan, about Alvin using Jeanette, and he doesn't realize about that he's actually using her so he can beat Brittany and all that. And I actually feel sorry for Jeanette because she doesn't deserve any of this attention like that, you know? Because I think Jeanette deserves another way of attention. I mean, she deserves to be her true self. Like what she said in the episode about this whole thing, what I was doing is not really Jeanette at all. Because I think Jeanette should be herself, although she did at the end, which is actually really good of her, though. I'm actually proud of Jeanette for what she did, you know. And I also remember the other version of that episode in the new series, Alvin and the Chipmunks, 2015. Well, I do like that episode, but I'm more into the 80s version better, if I had to admit. Okay, and I do remember the other episode from the 80s series with the episode called Sisters, where Brittany literally choose those girls over her real sister, Jeanette. I mean, what kind of sister is she anyway? We're choosing the two people who are actually jerks, who actually treat Jeanette like dirt. I mean, if I had to admit with you guys, I just think Brittany is not really a sister at all in that episode. All she ever cares is that she wants to be part of the sisters group. Something like that. Yeah. Well, okay. So I got one question by Sheila Colza, and she asked me, do you like the Littlest Pet Shop? Yeah, of course I do. Although I don't really watch all the time, but I do kind of consider it as my favorite animation. Yeah, something like that. But I do like the episode sometimes, and I do like Blythe, the character, the human character. And I do like Zoe. Yeah, and I also like Minka. I think it's called the pink little monkey. Yeah, something like that. Oh, and Pennyling, the little panda. Yeah, she's cute. She's a bit like Jeanette from the Chipmunks, actually. Yeah. So anyway, I better be going because my mom probably be home by now because we're supposed to be having tea. So I hope you guys enjoy my live, and yeah. So anyway, I just thought to tell you guys that I have to finish right now. So I hope you guys have a good day, and if you wanted to like want to what do you guys want me to do for the next live video, let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, so I hope you guys do have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone.